So this is the homework set. Started on page 92. I guess this problem is actually on 193. This is number 62. Okay, I think there's going to be bad words on this TV, so I got to mute it. 62. What are we doing? Y equals natural log of x over x squared. And we're finding the equation of the tangent line that touches that curve at the point E, so our x value is E, and our y value is E to the negative 2 power. Okay, so in order to find the equation of a tangent line, we know that we have to first find the derivative of our function and then plug in our x values so that we have slope. So, looks like I don't have to worry about doing logarithmic differentiation here because my top one, well, that's just natural log of x. Okay, I know how to do the derivative of that. The bottom one is x squared. I know how to do the derivative of that. So I don't need that logarithmic differentiation. I do, however, have a quotient, so I have to do quotient rule. Derivative of the top is 1 over x, and then I multiply that times the bottom, minus the derivative of the bottom, which is 2x, and I multiply that times the top. Oops, natural log of x. Over the bottom squared, so I have x squared. Squared. So that gives me x squared over x minus 2x times the natural log of x over x to the fourth, because you multiply those exponents right there. I've got to do a little bit of cleanup here on this fraction. X squared divided by x is just x. Okay, so I have x minus 2x times the natural log of x over x to the fourth. Okay, because both of these expressions have an x in it, and I'm dividing by x to the fourth, I'm going to factor out that x, and I get 1 minus 2 times the natural log of x. All that's over x to the fourth, and then the x cancels with these, and you're left with 3x's on the bottom. So you have 1 minus 2 times the natural log of x over x cubed. Oh, you know what I just realized? Okay, all that stuff, while simplifying is great and nice, I really didn't have to do it. And the reason I didn't have to do it really is because all I'm doing is trying to find the slope, for crying out loud. So that was kind of unnecessary. I mean, it'll be easier to plug in simplified, but to find the slope, you just plug in your value for x into the expression that you have, and that gives you slope. So my point was e, and then e to the negative 2 power. So my x value is e, so I've got to plug e into this expression. 1 minus 2 times the natural log of e over e to the cubed, e to the cubed, e to the third power. Okay, we got to talk now about this natural log of e thing. This is something I want you to highlight in your notes. First of all, take notes on this. Write this somewhere. Okay, you learned this somewhere in pre-cal, but you may have forgotten. This expression over here, natural log of e, okay, off to the side, I want to talk about it. Remember, natural log means log base e. So I have log base e of e, okay? If you remember from back in the day in pre-cal, a log is asking you for an exponent. So this expression, log base e of e, it's actually saying to you, what's the exponent that goes with e so that you get this thing right here, which is e to the first. Okay, you can see right there that the exponent is 1. So natural log of e is always equal to 1. That's a fact you're going to have to tuck away in your brain because it's going to come up for the rest of Calculus 1 and a whole lot in Calculus 2. Okay, so over here I have 1 minus 2 times the natural log of e is equal to 1. And then all over e cubed. So I have negative 1 over e cubed. I can write that as negative e to the negative 3 power. So that's my slope. That's the slope of my line. Now, you can get a decimal answer for that, and probably at the end we're going to do that. But we're going to go ahead and get the equation just in terms of e, and then we'll estimate it on top of that. Actually, I'm sitting down on my couch without my calculator, and so I will not be doing it because I don't feel like getting up. How about that? How about that? Okay, so I have slope. you know how to find the equation of a line once you have slope. It's y minus the y value, which they gave us was e to the negative 2 power, equals your slope, which is negative e to the negative 3 power, times x minus your x value, which was just e. So distribute right there, y minus e to the negative 2 power. So I have negative x e to the negative 3 plus, okay, so we're combining, here's what you're combining, e to the negative 3 times e to the first. When you're multiplying and things have the same base, you add the exponent. That gives you e to the negative 2 power. Okay, so I have e to the negative 2 power there. Then I have to add over here, add, so it's plus e to the negative 2 power. So that gives you y equals negative. Now, remember, you're writing the equation of the line. So your slope is negative e to the negative 3. So the slope always goes in front of the x. And then it looks like we have two of these little fellas. So plus 2e to the negative 2 power. You would do that then in your calculator so that you can estimate what that is in decimal form. Just make sure when you're doing that you put the negatives with your exponents there. And that's the equation of the tangent line right there.